The first term that you'll hear me talk about or hear me say is cases. So cases involves the life cycle of the candidate as they go through the review. So the case involves the candidate packet, which are materials that the candidate submits, internal documents that are submitted by committee managers or administrators, and then the workflow. So the steps that the case goes through as it's being reviewed by different committees. So the packet is the collection of materials that the candidate submits, and that's what the committee will review. So it can either be documents, other files, it can be forms that the candidate needs to fill out. And the packet can be divided into sections and submitted independently, or it can be submitted all at once. And all of the materials that a candidate submits are saved to their dossier account, so they will always have a record of what they've submitted to the committee. Those files are going to be saved in the dossier, as I just said, and everyone here, whether you're an admin, committee manager, candidate, you should have a dossier. So that's just like a repository where you can store all of your materials, whether or not you will have a review at some point, or if you just want to have a place to indefinitely store your academic materials, you can use your dossier. And then the committee is the group of users that's reviewing the candidate materials at any step. So committees are step assigned. So you have access to a case when it's assigned to the step, or when it moves to the step that you're assigned to. And then we have our user roles. So I'm going to start at the bottom. So at the bottom we have candidates. So those are the faculty members who are completing their packet and submitting those documents and other files for review. And then we have our committee members. So they have the most basic permissions in the system. They also have access to a case when it's assigned to the step that they are assigned to. But when it comes to actions they can actually take within that case, they're pretty limited. Their main purpose is to review documents, and if downloads are turned on, they would be able to do that as well. Committee managers, again, this is a step assignment or a committee assignment, so also have access to a case only when it's at this specific step. They have a little more responsibility or the ability to do a little bit more within a case. Not only can they review candidate documents, they also have the ability to move the case backwards and forwards through the workflow. They also have the ability to communicate within the system by email with the candidate and committee members. And they can also, of course, upload files on behalf of the candidate, as well as upload any required documents on the step that they're assigned. And then at the top level, we have administrators. And administrators are really responsible for the creation of things that are being used. So they are responsible for creating the templates, creating the cases. They have the ability to, email the candidates and committee members, move the case backwards and forwards, and they also have visibility into any cases that live in the unit that they're assigned and any units nested below. And their role is not step assigned, it's unit assigned. So when you log in, I'm going to show you in just a second, there's a page, an SSO link that Weinberg has set up. That way you don't have to remember any additional usernames or passwords. You can just sign in with your university credentials. But if you end up getting to Interfolio's homepage, this is what our homepage looks like. In the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a login link. When you click on that login link, you'll see this screen and you'll be able to click partner institution, which looks like this. But the simple way would just be to go directly to this link where you would see this online portal where you can just put in your net ID and your password and log in. If you happen to go to the Interfolio side, you can just start typing in Weinberg and click sign in, where you will be taken to this page right here. here is the home page. So this is where, if you're a candidate, you're going to see any assigned packets or any notifications if anything was shared with you, just calling things to your attention. So the way that you can access your packet is to either click on the link here as your tasks, or you can go to your packets in the navigation bar. So we'll do that. And here you can see that the packet section is divided into active and completed. So these are packets from cases that are now closed, and these are active packets. So I'm going to click on this one that's in progress. And here we can see an overview of the packet requirements and the sections. So here I can see the title of the sections. I have candidate document, research, teaching, and then optional documents. I can also see the due date for these materials, and the status is not yet submitted, unlocked. So even though I fulfilled the requirements in most of these sections, the committee managers and committee members and administrators wouldn't be able to see any of my documents until I have submitted these sections. So if you are encountering that issue, you'd want to make sure that the candidate has actually submitted the sections. And there is this view instructions button here that gives the candidate a little bit more information and links out to handbooks and tutorials if they had any questions. So the only thing I need to do to complete my packet to get it ready for submission is to upload the CV. And in order to be able to edit my packet, I would either click this edit button to focus on a specific section, or I could select this packet tab. When I select packet, I now see these add buttons for each requirement. So I can go through and fulfill the requirements for that section, which you can see I've already uploaded a lot of these requirements, and I'm also using the naming convention that is required. I do want to show you that within this packet, there are 2 forms that need to be filled out by the candidate. Right here under research, we have our key publication titles list. And then under teaching, we have our candidate's faculty representative list. So in order to edit those forms, you would just click or fill out those forms, you would click edit form. And here's the form where the candidate could fill this out. This can only be fulfilled by the candidate. So even if you are uploading documents on their behalf, they will need to go into the system and fill out these forms. They also need to make sure that they've fulfilled every field that has an asterisk next to it before they leave the page. This page won't auto-save unless everything that's required is filled out before leaving the page. So even if they put, you know, some like gibberish and then come back to finish it later, they just want to make sure that they've done that for everything that has an asterisk, so that they can come back and edit later and save what they've actually worked on. So that was the key publications form. And under the teaching section, sorry for the quick scroll, they also have this candidate's faculty representative form. So they would also need to go in, complete everything with an asterisk, which is most fields on this page. And then after they've completed everything with an asterisk, it would save and they would be able to submit that section. So I just want to show you quickly how to upload a document. In order to do that, we can fulfill the CV requirement. So I'm just going to click this add button here. This choose existing list is pulling from documents that I've already uploaded on another packet or uploaded directly to the materials list in my dossier. It's likely that your candidates won't have that. So what they'll want to do is select add new file. And then they can either drag and drop a file or browse to upload. So I'll do a browse to upload. And I'll select the CV. You can also bulk upload and select multiple items. I'm only going to do one here because the system will only let me upload one because I only have one document required. But in the research field under publications, you can do a bulk upload. So this is converting the document that I've selected into a PDF. Interfolio converts all documents to a PDF. So you'll just see this spinning wheel for just a second, and then it will convert into a blue hyperlink that you can click to view. So whenever a candidate is ready to submit their packet, we do recommend that they preview it first. They can do that by selecting this preview button here or preview packet. This allows them to see their documents exactly how the committee would see them, because this is the same reader that the committee will see. And so once they have looked at everything and decided that the formatting is correct and they are satisfied, then they can go and submit. Once you submit a section of your packet, it does lock. So in order for a candidate to make any changes to their packet, they would need to reach out either to an administrator or a committee manager, and that would have to be unlocked for them. Because I've completed all of my sections and all of the requirements in my sections, I can select check all of my boxes here. So I can submit individual sections, or I can submit all selected sections. I am going to get a message that asks me if I'm sure that I want to do that. Again, just notifying the candidate that the sections do lock, and they will need to reach out to somebody on campus to make sure that they're unlocked. But this step, this submission step, is what moves the case forward to the first step of the review workflow, which is also the step that you will be assigned to. So I'm going to click yes. And in the bottom, I get a little toast message saying that I've successfully submitted those sections. And now you can see that the status has changed to submitted and locked. So I no longer have those edit or add buttons, but I am still able to view what I've submitted. We will go ahead and move on to the committee manager. So this is the committee manager view. This is the home screen. Up here, I have the name on this demo account. Again, I have tasks just like the candidate had. These tasks are going to be cases that are assigned to me. So this one unread is the case that just moved over when we submitted from the candidate side. So I could either click on the hyperlink to view that candidate case, or I can select the cases link over here in my navigation bar to see all of the assigned cases that I have. So here, even if this wasn't there, you're going to see all of the cases that are assigned to you that you're able to view. You would see the candidate's first and last name. You would see the unit where the case was created, where it lives, the type of review, and the name of the template that was used to create this case. You would also see the status of the case. So the statuses that you would likely see are review pending. Here we can see that this case is on step 1 of 9. It is now on the first step of the workflow, and that is the department step, which would be the step that you're assigned to. I also can see that I have some required documents that I need to add to this case before I can send it forward. And I have a due date here. So if I click into this case, I'll be able to see the candidate's packet. So all of the materials that the candidate submits, as well as any internal sections. So anything that the department, meaning a committee manager or an admin, has added to this packet. So I just want to expand these and kind of talk to those who will be helping candidates upload their documents. So if you were, helping a candidate and uploading things on their behalf, it would be a very similar process to what we just covered for the candidate. What you would do is just click this add file button here, and you could either, drag and drop or browse to upload and upload a file from your computer into their packet. So here you can see that if a candidate has uploaded a document, you don't have the ability to delete that document. You can only delete things that you have uploaded. So for example, if I added a document here, let's try this one. Okay. So there, I'm going to delete this document, but if you were uploading things on behalf of a candidate, you would see that it was added by, and it's going to say your name. And then in this edit drop down, you only have the ability to edit settings for things that a candidate has submitted. But if you click edit here, you have the ability to delete things that you have uploaded yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But again, it really works the same way as it did for the candidate. You would just go to the section and add a file. Here we have the 2 forms. You aren't, again, able to complete these forms on behalf of the candidate. They would need to go into their account and fill out the forms themselves, but you would be able to see when they completed the forms, and you would be able to view their form responses. So if we click into that form, it's going to show up as a PDF here in the reader. So whenever you're ready to review the files in a case, you can click on this Read Case button, or you can click on a specific document. If you click Read Case, it's going to take you to the first document that's submitted and kind of work your way down. So if we click Read Case, it's going to start with the first document here in the candidate packet. I can use these navigation tools at the bottom to either move to a different page of that document or move to the next material. You can see that move to the next file in that navigation bar. I can also click on these and expand them to see everything that's been uploaded. And from here down, these are all of the internal sections. So if anything had been uploaded by an administrator or a committee manager, I would be able to see it there as well. We don't have anything in those sections yet. You are able to download either this packet or download a specific document. And when you download it will show up as a task in your on your homepage that you can click and view those downloads. And you'll also get an email notification where you could where you'd be notified that the document or packet is available for you to view. So if I return to the case, a couple of things I wanted to cover here again. This locked and unlocked. This pertains only to the candidate and their ability to make edits. This doesn't have anything to do with what you can or cannot see or what's locked and unlocked to you. You do have the ability to unlock a section if any edits needed to be made. And then when the candidate made those edits and submitted that section again, which they would need to submit again for you to see those changes, the section would automatically lock again upon submission. So that lock and unlock is just for the candidate. And just wanted to make sure I said this and this was clear. The internal sections are completely private. So the candidate is not going to see anything that's loaded into those sections, and they're not even going to see like the title or anything that pertains to internal sections. Whenever we add the documents that are required on this step, they will live in the case in these sections here, but this isn't where we're going to actually add those documents. And we are required to add them before we can move the case to the next step. So if I were to click send case forward, I'm going to get a notification telling me that I can't do that until I've satisfied all of these requirements. So in order to view those requirements and start uploading those materials, I would need to click on case details. So case materials is going to give me an overview of all the documents in a case. Case details provides a little bit more information for the committee. So here I can see all of the instructions that are assigned to me as a committee manager. I have some steps here, and I also have links out to tutorials, guidelines, handbooks. So lots of information here. You can also reach out to this email address if you had any questions about the process. But this is really where you're going to live. Here you can see that we have 9 missing files or forms. So there's 7 documents that we need to upload and 2 forms that we need to complete. So you can see here I have the title for each document and some more information about what's actually being requested. And then below I have 2 forms. And so in order to access those forms, I would just click this fill out form link so that I can enter in my responses. So we'll go ahead and click add here. Oh, upload new file. And then I'm going to browse to upload. And I am using this naming convention that's required. And once I add a document, then you'll see this number change here in the case details. So it went from 9 to 8. And now you can see that we have a complete status for that department letter that we've just uploaded. And that will happen, and that will continue as we continue to upload documents here. Just gonna upload here. And you would just keep uploading all of the required documents. You do have the ability to delete a document that you've uploaded or edit the title. So I can show you how to do that. So this, I had already implemented the naming convention when I was preparing this, so I did it, and it's just pulling the name of my file. But if you hadn't done that, it will just pull whatever name you have saved, and then you can always edit that here to follow that naming convention. And I just have a couple of more documents. And then if you see here, this section, you don't have to make any changes to that. That's already been selected for you. But that department documents section that we saw within the internal sections on the case materials page, that is showing me where these documents would live. So when we go back to the case materials page, you can see those documents there. So now I just have one more document to add. You will see that I still have 3 requirements that need to be fulfilled. The other 2 are the forms. And again, if you made a mistake or you want to replace the document, you can always delete it. We're not removing from requirements, so it would either just be delete the document or edit details if you wanted to change the naming convention. And then these 2 forms that you have here are your voting form and your student referee form. So in order to fill those out, you're just going to click this fill out form. I've already filled these out, but you are required to answer everything with an asterisk. This does differ from the candidate form because you are able to save responses. You don't necessarily have to fill out everything with an asterisk before you leave the page, but you do always want to make sure you click save responses to save whatever you have worked on. So whenever you're ready, you can submit that form. And this is just saying that when you click submit, those who are on the committee and other administrators will be able to see your responses, but you will still be able to edit and change things while the case is still on your step. So I'll get this notification saying that I've successfully submitted. Now I just have one missing document, which is this last form. And again, just making sure that you've filled out everything with an asterisk next to it. And once you've completed that, you can also submit the form. You're going to get that toast message saying that you've successfully submitted. So now we no longer have any thing calling our attention to this case details section. We have fulfilled all the requirements, so you're no longer going to see a number here. I can see all of my documents listed here. And if I needed to change anything on my form, I could click edit submission. One last thing I want to point out on this case details view is the committee members page. If you expand that, you can see everybody who's assigned to this step. So if you needed to email or message anyone, you can do that. We're not making any edits to the membership or to any of the requirements here. You'd just be able to email anybody who's assigned. And you can also, on this page, you can email the candidate as well. So if you were to click that, it's already pre-fills with information and you can email a candidate. And so the email actions are tracked. So it helps your administrators know who sent out information and what was sent out. And then if we scroll down here in the bottom on this internal sections, we can see that even though we didn't upload them to this section, all of the candidate documents that we needed to upload live here. So if you wanted to review them on the candidate or on the case materials page, they would be under this first internal section under department documents. So once you have completed all of the requirements and you've read the case and you're ready for it to move on, you can simply click this Send Case button, and it's going to tell you where the case is going next. So here it's going to tell you that you and then whoever else is assigned to this step will lose access, and these reviewers will gain access. So the 2 members on the Weinberg Dean's Office Review Committee will get a notification whether you check this box or not, whether you decide to personalize the notification that they get or not, they will receive a notification and a task in their Interfolio account, letting them know that a new case is now available to them and on the step that they're assigned. So I will uncheck that box and click continue. I can see that the case is sent forward, and I no longer have 2 cases on my case list. That case that we were just in, it's successfully sent forward, so I no longer have access to it.